more minutes after this, and then I do need to shut down because it is getting pretty. Oh my God. Oh wait, you Zay, and then still think there needs to be a baseline. All right, we're gonna do the one-on-one with Ryan and Jose. And then after that, just a heads up, we'll go maybe about 15, 20 more minutes after this. And then I do need to shut down because it is getting pretty. Oh my God. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'll bring you back up for the, because that 5 credits back.
Yeah, all good, Jose. What do you got for me?
All right, Ryan. Well, like I said, I'm not a debater. I'm just a regular Joe Schmo. I listen a lot. I pay attention a lot. One thing I do pay attention is, I do appreciate you coming on, allowing me to even have this debate with you. I know you probably have a big platform. I've never followed you at all. I don't even know who you are at all. You know what I mean? Same goes for you regarding me. I'm a regular Joe Schmo, but it's a pleasure. But I'll tell you this. You can have a Discord without having to be so emotionally charged. I look through the comments. Everyone is calling you, a demon, saying that you make some good points. You just speak very fast and you articulate your words very well, matter of fact. You actually are very intelligent. Me, myself, I have a regular education, bachelor's degree in criminal justice. One thing I could tell you and one thing I could advise of you to do is to pay attention to people's mannerisms, to their own opinions and where their opinions are coming from. And to do that, you don't have to live in a person's shoes to understand what the words that they use actually mean and the context behind it. In this case, God bless Charlie Kirk. His rhetoric, it wasn't of hate. If you actually listen behind I'll tell you this, I'll give you this. I disagree with certain points that he said. There was one point he actually made about hip hop. How it was dangerous, hip hop and rap. I disagree with that, but I agree also to an extent. Hip hop and rap isn't good when you allow your own children to listen to the message that's being said without context. If you don't have a parent at home, a mom and a dad, how are they to decipher that it's not good to slang crack on the corner, or that it's not good to hang on the block drinking and stuff with people above their age bracket? How are they supposed to decipher that? That's what I'm trying to say. There's a message between every word that's being spewed, and his rhetoric wasn't of hate. You just got to listen clearly. Got to get the dust out your ears and listen.
Yeah, so I mean, again, yeah, you're right. You don't know me. I do come on these panels all the time. I'm not some big creator. I don't have a huge platform. In fact, most of the people who watch me are people who disagree with me quite drastically. On my tiny YouTube channel, it doesn't even have 1,000 subs, but we're getting close. With regards to, I think
we'll get you there, Ryan. I promise.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's true. I do get emotional on these panels. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think a lot of people do. I think I wear it a little bit more clearly on my sleeve when I am emotional. I think a lot of people they don't demonstrate like visually quite how emotional they are.
If you're too emotional, you'll miss the message that's being said, because you're actually your own biased person if you do that. You can't. How can you be an emotionally charged person having a proper debate with someone? You'll never understand the person's shoes. You'll never get to that person's level or common ground. That's how we have a proper discourse. You can't do that by being emotionally charged. It's impossible.
I disagree with that. I think that understanding and being in touch with your emotions, understanding and being able to communicate why you feel the way you do in the moment, which I think I often do on these panels when I might be extremely flustered or frustrated. I think I can generally communicate why I'm feeling that way and logically communicate like what words are being used and why I feel those words are being used in a certain way, why I think the why I think the rhetoric that's being used is making me and probably others emotionally
let me ask you this.
Dysregulated. I think that's very reasonable to do. I don't think you have to
show emotion if you break your leg. It's obviously my leg is broken. You don't have to feel pain. You could have something in your brain that you can't, something's missing and you can't feel your leg broken. Oh, obviously you got to get it fixed, but you don't necessarily have to show emotion if you break a leg. You could be.
I'm not arguing that anyone should have to show emotion. What I'm saying is I do. I'm not scared to show my emotions in any way.
But that's fine. I'm not saying you could do whatever you want in the debate, but that's why I'm also pointing at. You could do whatever you want, but at the same time, I'm almost contradicting myself. But it is true, and the nature of my contradiction is where you lie. That's where the realm that you are in. If you're emotionally charged, you can't have a proper debate with somebody else. It's impossible, because you're neither going to back up on your position and the other person is going to try to convince you otherwise. But it's nearly impossible to do that with an emotionally charged person. And that's what you usually see. And I'll give it to both sides on the left and the right, but you usually see it on the left side. They're way too emotionally charged.
Yeah, I don't agree with that last part at all. That it's the left. It's primarily. I think we kind of have this has become kind of a truism in political discourse that the left is the more emotional side. I don't think this is the reality. I think if you look at the reactions to the Charlie Kirk shooting, the people who are calling for war, the people who are saying they did this, and assigning that to all the left, and we have no idea who did this yet. We have a picture of the guy. We don't know anything about him other than that. I think this is extremely emotional.